to the Kadampa World Peace Temple. So this is the temple.
John, do you want to introduce yourself?
My name is John. I live here at the temple. I've been living here for about 2 years. So I know you're here to see the temple, so let's check it out. So,
Okay.
First of all, I guess we could say this building is a representation of the mandala of Buddha Haruka. So this is like compassion Buddha's mind, that we're inside here, and
Great.
very traditional Buddhist design.
Huh.
It was built entirely by volunteers, basically,
Wow.
except for like the some of the engineering stuff, probably.
Wow.
Pretty much entirely by volunteers.
How long did it take to make?
Well, I think it took about 6 years
Wow.
from start to finish.
Yeah. So how do we find all these volunteers?
So I guess they're just people who are interested in helping Dharma to flourish.
Mm-hmm.
They were interested in the project. They wanted to help. And people just moved here. And
Yeah.
helped out, and maybe just for a short time, and maybe for a long time, depending on
Wow.
what they can do.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's completely amazing.
And it sits on 80 acres of land, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really beautiful space.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so tell us about the temple.
Okay, so it was opened in 2006
Mhm.
by Venerable Geshe-la.
Yeah.
He's the founder of the New Kadampa tradition and kind of the visionary and inspiration behind these temples and centers all over the world. So up here in upstate New York, just in the middle of the woods, a temple just appeared.
Yay!
And luckily for us, it's here, and it's kind of like a pilgrimage spot. People can come here from all over and find peace and happiness. And it's almost like having a home.
Yeah.
This is like everybody's home as well. Anybody can come here and think of it as their spiritual home.
Yeah. It's nice. And people can come in and meditate
Yeah.
whenever they want, right?
They
Almost.
meditate.
Yeah.
And
John, do you think it would be more helpful if I actually give you this and then you can direct it wherever you want to talk about?
sure.
That might even be better, right?
Okay.
Okay, then you can just sync it up with your mind stream.
Okay,
and then
great.
take people wherever they want to go.
Okay, so in the center is Buddha Shakyamuni. He's the founder of Buddhist teachings. He gave 84,000 teachings 2,500 years ago or so. And all the teachings that we practice come from him, so he's in the shrine, in the center. And you could say that around him are many other different enlightened beings, and they are all, in a way, a manifestation of the enlightened mind, showing a different aspect. So to Buddha's right, our left, is Avalokiteshvara. He's the Buddha of compassion. So you could really say that the compassion of all the Buddhas is appearing as Buddha Avalokiteshvara. And
John,
yeah.
Dan told me, I forgot to tell you, he said if we reverse it horizontally, we can get even more width into the video.
Like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, let's do that. Okay. So we can see when Buddha was attaining enlightenment, about to attain enlightenment, he was under the Bodhi tree, and he put his hand down in the mudra of touching the earth. And at that time, it was like he was overcoming all the maras of the world, all the demons trying to obstruct his spiritual practice, and he became a conqueror Buddha at that moment. They say that as he was attaining enlightenment, they all tried to obstruct him, and they were throwing weapons at him and hurling rocks and fire and stuff, and he saw it as like a rain of flowers due to his love for them. And to Buddha's left, our right, is Tara. She's a female Buddha. sometimes we say like active compassion, but I think she's a little bit more associated with wisdom. She's very swift. You can see that her right foot is out, showing that she's ready to jump up and help us very quickly. So we call her the Great Mother, and if we ever need help very quickly, she's the one to go to. We can just call out to her, Tara. Her mantra is Om Tari Tu Tari Tara Soha. So in the center here on the throne is Geshe Kelsang, the founder of the New Kadampa tradition, and he wrote all the books that we use and practice, and they're just very, very clear explanation of Buddhist teachings, very appropriate for people of the modern world. In general, if we try to practice the teachings that Buddha gave, directly, or even that teachers like Jason Kappa gave, it would be difficult for us to put them into practice in our modern lives just because of the presentation. But Geshe Kelsang presented teachings especially for us, for people of the modern world. So it's very easy to put them into practice. It's very easy to gain results. And so we definitely thank Geshe-la deeply. So over here we have many different enlightened beings in this cabinet here. In the center is Jason Kappa. He was a monk that lived about 600 years ago in Tibet, and he was very humble, just appeared to be an ordinary person, but he gave the most clear and profound teachings. Actually, he was a manifestation of Manjushri, the wisdom Buddha, and Jason Kappa's teachings were kind of they were especially clear and profound, and he kind of revitalized Buddhism in Tibet. At that time, there were many misunderstandings. People didn't quite know how to practice certain things together. They thought some teachings were contradictory, but he showed that none of Buddhist teachings were contradictory. And he kind of established the Ganden oral lineage, which is something that we still practice today, which are teachings that came directly from Manjushri's wisdom, and Jason Kappa transmitted them down through many enlightened masters, and now we're lucky enough to practice this lineage. In front of Jason Kappa are his two principal disciples, although he had many disciples. These are two of his main ones, and this is Kadrubje. He's a manifestation of spiritual power of Vajrapani, and he spent his whole life teaching in the cities, and he is said that he gained realizations while teaching on the throne. And this is Jampa Gyatso. He is the manifestation of Avalokiteshvara, the Buddha of compassion, and he spent his life in caves on retreat, and that's how he gained his realizations. This is Manjushri, the wisdom Buddha. He has a sword, a wisdom sword, so it's not a real weapon. It represents wisdom, the power to cut through our ignorance. On top is Vajrasattva, the Buddha of purification. So we could say that the purity of Buddha's mind appears as Buddha Vajrasattva, and we can purify our negative karma by relying upon him. Actually, we can purify our negative karma by relying on any Buddha, but Vajrasattva is especially, his main function is to help us to do that. So there's very simple practices that we can do with Vajrasattva that are really effective. This is Amitayus. He's the Buddha of long life, merit, and wisdom. And Amitayus was a king many lifetimes ago who he practiced his 6 perfections and attained enlightenment. And now helps others to increase their lifespan, to increase their good fortune, and also to increase their wisdom. And he's holding a long life fast. These are Dharma texts, so these are Geshe-la's books, and they represent Dharma. So even though these are texts, the books, they represent the actual realizations that we gain through practicing the teachings. And this is Medicine Buddha. He made special prayers to be able to help living beings in degenerate times, and so as times become more degenerate, the practice of Medicine Buddha becomes more and more powerful. So now, since times are so degenerate, now his practices are very powerful, and they get more and more powerful each year. There are 7 Medicine Buddhas, but he's the principal Medicine Buddha that we rely on. Over here, these are also Medicine Buddhas. These were a gift to Geshe-la. Geshe-la gave, or many centers gave these to Geshe-la when he opened the temple, and he then in turn gave them to the temple. So you can see they're all in the same posture. They're all Medicine Buddha.
Should I go turn on the lights?
Sure. So we call this the field for accumulating merit. And so we visualize Buddha like this when we do our meditations. So it's just Buddha with Vajradhara at his heart.